Hi everyone, Beth here, just letting you know that Fraggle Talk is taking a little summer break, so you won't have a new episode for the next 2 weeks. Perfect time to catch up if you need to, and then we will be back in the first week of September to start the second half of Season 1. Okay, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia and I'm watching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam, and I've actually seen this several times before, but I underwent a complicated Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind procedure so I could rewatch it for the first time just for you, listeners. Just for you.
And we have a special guest with us today.
Hi, I'm Katie Lynn, and Fraggle Rock is my lived experience.
What?
Nice.
Don't you all live in caves?
I wish.
I mean, I'm getting there.
You don't get to just drop a sentence like that and not expound. No, hold on. Say more things.
Well, I mean, all the millennials are talking about living in communes. Why aren't you all living in caves with singing people all the time?
It does sound kind of awesome. Also, I do just real quick want to push back. When we introduced ourselves before recording, you did very clearly say your name was Cat.
Don't tell the internet my name, Adam.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're going to be able to cast spells on you and stuff now. My bad. So the episode that we watched today is The Finger of Light.
Episode 12, yeah.
Written by Dave Young and directed by Peter Harris.
Can I just say, strong opener in terms of Doc actually being a decent dog owner. He's trying to get the speaker up. He goes, "Oh, hold this for a second, Sprocket." Sprocket tries to hold it. It immediately pulls Sprocket up into the air. Doc notices that he has put his dog in a compromising position and immediately removes his dog from the compromising position and isn't even condescending about it. So like, hey, character growth. Thanks, buddy.
So I really liked that moment between them, but I also thought it was a really great moment of puppetry because he hands Sprocket the pulley and immediately Sprocket it looks like he's getting lifted upward and Doc has to come and help him. And you forget for a second that there's someone operating this dog and it's actually just a puppetry trick. It's just very seamless and it's such a small thing. And we've touched on this in so many other episodes already, but it's like a small thing that just makes the world feel so real and I loved it.
No seams in the world building.
And his eyebrows go up on Sprocket, so he looks like surprised. Which is hard to do without a mouth able to open.
Yeah, it still conveys a lot of emotion.
I hadn't caught that. That's awesome.
So I echo what you said, Adam, about progress. And I was like, well, there's, we've already seen Sprocket do the same thing of like he was hoisted into the air on a pulley from a rope. And Doc didn't notice that time, and poor Sprocket was, and then I was like, wait, we haven't seen that yet. I've seen that yet. Minor spoilers.
Wow, spoilers, Beth.
We're gonna see.
Spoilers.
I'm gonna have to undergo the Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind thing again, just to forget that.
Spoilers for Doc backtracking and not being a good dog owner. That's something to look forward to.
Healing isn't linear.
I literally wrote that down. Healing isn't linear.
That's good. Never. I liked Doc a lot this episode. I felt a kinship with him in wanting to do something nice for his plants that maybe annoys everybody else, as that's usually my MO for our household with my partner. Just putting the plants first.
As you should. No, that's a proper set of priorities. I see my notes just says, this man's really about to impinge his mixtape on the whole neighborhood.
Did any of you catch what albums those were? Like, they was throwing them so fast. Sprocket was.
I couldn't catch any of them.
It's like, oh, some...
I caught one of them was Vera Lynn, and I only caught that because there's a reference to it in a Pink Floyd song.
Interesting.
Yeah, later he's listening to, I think, whether it's the song or the album he was referring to, I think he says it's called Honolulu Honey, but I think that's the only one we get by name.
I just assumed that was a made-up album. I guess it could have been real, but it seemed just, thrown together for the episode.
I mean, when you think about it, all albums are made up.
Well, and I'm sure that they were all copyright-free music, so that they didn't have to get rights for them.
That too. Yeah, for such a small bit of the episode. Beth, do you have the name of what his machine is called playing the music? It's a very long name, and I just wrote down Beth will know this and tell me.
Aw, shucks.
Instead of me backtracking and writing it out.
So, what I heard was it's a quadraphonic growth inducer.
Yes.
So, okay, growth inducer, cool, it induces growth. Quadraphonic? Is that a word he made up?
It sounds like it.
Break that down to mean 4 sounds?
Did he have like 4? Was there something in the machine that was quadrupled? He didn't have 4 speakers.
At least not that we could see.
Maybe it's a misnomer. Maybe the machine is just like, it's 4 sounds, because that's what it does.
Maybe?
Good joke, Adam. Thanks, Adam.
No, he also said he's going to be broadcasting, quote, wall-to-wall music for all the vegetables in the garden. It's like, so maybe he has like a walled-in garden and has a speaker on each side?
Maybe he's got speakers on other parts of his house, too, that we don't see. Because he also talks about, like, the neighbors benefiting from the music, too. Because they all have yards and gardens and plants. So maybe there's just more to it, but we only see the front porch, because that's the set that we're given for the show.
Yep.
Well, the machine is a very, Doctor Who-esque type machine. It's got all these very nice lights. It's got flips and switches.
That's true.
So maybe there's 4 of something inside the machine.
Doc is the Doctor. There's a theory.
Oh, Jerry Parks would have made a great Doctor.
Oh,
he would have made. I thought that he was great in this episode, and he's always great. But like, there was like a lot of joy in what he was doing this one, and yeah, he would have been a good Doctor. Sprocket as his companion.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yes.
I want that fan art.
Get him together with K9. This is great.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Someone draw this. I need it in my life.
Please, please. One of you must have some artistic skill.
yes.
Fan art, fan art, fan art.
Do we have an email
art.
we can have people send fan art to?
We'll get one.
We'll get one.
Yeah.
You start writing, we'll start getting an email. We'll meet in the
Writing
middle.
implies fan fiction. Are we going to get some fan fiction?
Drawing. Scribing. You start this concept art, and we'll get a concept email. I don't know. Anyways, so they start with everybody balancing pickles on their noses.
Yes, transitioning to the Fraggles. Gobo and Red in particular are having the pickle balancing.
And Red's got 2 of them, and they're hilariously askew.
Now, have you guys been doing like a ranking of all of the Fraggle games that have been going on so far? Like, because I feel like you should all.
Oh, interesting. I mean, we've been keeping track of them. I don't think we've been ranking them yet.
Yeah, we try not to bring too competitive of an energy to the podcast. No.
We got a bunch of Wembleys here. No Reds and Gobos.
Oh, yeah. Wembley City.
That's very true. Maybe a little bit of Boober here and there.
Sprinkling a Moki.
I was going to say a dash of Moki. Not too much Moki. Just a little bit.
Well, I expect at the end of the series, you'll all have like a Fraggle games off and just...
Oh, definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, but I can't do a PowerPoint for the listeners. Oh, well. I'll describe each slide in
Just a
detail.
verbal
All right, this
PowerPoint.
one, the gradient is from a nice light, sort of pale white, kind of a cream color, into a deep orange. The font choice is a Helvetica bold.
Oh, bold choice.
Oh, and he doesn't even know about Back to the Rock.
I do.
Well, I mean, he knows it exists, and we've like sprinkled in some info that aren't spoilers. So we're gonna try to keep that.
Something to look forward to.
They've been really careful about spoilers. My conspiracy board doesn't have enough points that I can bust out the yarn yet. So
this episode, I hadn't realized until I started watching it again. I remember being on the Tough Pigs forums years ago when someone was talking about, remember in the 80s, or maybe it was the 90s, when McDonald's came out with those Fraggle Rock toys that were in the Happy Meals?
I don't remember that. I wasn't alive, but I will take your word for it.
So each little Fraggle was driving a little vegetable car, and Wembley and Boober were sitting together in a pickle car. And someone was like, do Fraggles have pickling technology? And I just knew, off the top of my head, the episode The Finger of Light starts and ends with pickle balancing. And I was like, maybe I have something to contribute to this community.
See, I definitely thought there would have been, maybe I'm neurodivergent.
Oh, I wouldn't realize that for years.
That's fair.
But yeah, they're balancing pickles, and Wembley keeps trying to join in, and he just can't get it. And then also Boober keeps offering germ-proof masks because of, I guess, the germs that pickles carry. And I just am a big fan of Boober already years before being very pro-masking.
Oh,
it's great.
yeah, I have it in here. Boober said, wear your masks. You heard it here first, folks. Fraggles say mask up.
He's also, predicting the future by not wearing it correctly, when he opens his mouth.
That's true, what he does. I also clocked that at the end where his mouth is like fully open and the mask is over his nose. And I was like, oh yes, this is like so many people I saw out in the wild in 2020. It gives me some triggering flashbacks.
Yep.
Yep.
The pickle game is interrupted because the world's oldest Fraggle shows up, which immediately lore. Does this mean that this is the oldest Fraggle in the world? Are there other Fraggle colonies? Does he just go from colony to colony running this game? I love the idea of just a famous celebrity moving from town to town having microdosing tyranny game.
Well, we will definitely see the world's oldest Fraggle again.
Yes. Does he have his palanquin bearers too?
No. Especially not these ones. So he comes in being born upon this palanquin like he's Miss Piggy or something, and they're all wearing like scrubs and stethoscopes. So I'm imagining that they just bring him out of convalescence for these things.
They also just like, they rock. Like, they're clearly having a great time. The theme song slaps. I have in my notes that these palanquin bearers walk so the Ugandan pallbearers could run.
Dance. They dance.
Well, I mean, it's a metaphor.
I don't get that reference. I'm sorry.
It's would you like to do the honors?
When was that? It's been, ages ago, eras ago.
That's gotta be 2020.
Sure. So, no, it was before COVID, because when COVID happened, like, they had a whole viral thing where
they did have a resurgence. Yeah, you're right. Like 2018, 2019.
So, in Uganda, is it Uganda?
I looked it up. I didn't want to be bad and racist and wrong and say the wrong African nation. No, I looked it up. They're Ugandan.
Hey, Beth here. Turns out the dancing pallbearers are from Ghana, not Uganda. Our apologies for the error.
So apparently, like, they have pallbearers, and these pallbearers, like, groove while they are, picking up your coffin and taking it to its final destination. And it just became a meme in that time to, like...
They are wearing tuxedos and sunglasses, and they have the coffin on their shoulders so they can shimmy with their arms.
Oh, I think I do remember that. Wow, it's been a minute.
And it just became the funny thing to, preface that with someone doing something extremely dangerous and possibly fatal. So you'd see that video and then immediately cuts to the dancing pallbearers.
Oh, got it.
And, like, they're moving, they're grooving, they're having a good time. And so that's immediately what I thought when I saw these palanquin bearers. I also had to look up the proper spellings for palanquin and pallbearer, because those are two different things. One of them carries a living person, and one of them carries a dead person. Can we talk about the world's oldest Fraggle?
Yes, please.
Because I love this dude.
Oh, yes.
This dude hops out of his palanquin and then turns to the people carrying it and goes, "Park it!" Like, amazing.
Yeah, this is why we don't get much of Boober in this episode, because Dave Goles was busy having the time of his life as the world's oldest Fraggle.
I know, when he left, like, partway through the episode and was gone for a while, at first I was like, oh, that's such a bummer. And then I realized, oh, it's because Dave's juggling. He's not only just juggling world's oldest Fraggle, he's also playing Melvin? Who's the other character?
Or
is that not?
No,
is that not
Steve
him?
is playing
Marlon is played by Steve Whitmire.
Oh, that is Steve. Okay. All
Which
right.
is why Wembley doesn't go.
Oh, that also makes a lot of sense.
They're very talented people, but they can't puppeteer two Fraggles fully at once.
I imagine that's a lot like being a dungeon master and having a scene where two NPCs have to talk and you're just kind of talking to yourself and everyone else is just kind of standing there. Awkward is the point I'm trying to get. Awkward.
Yeah, it's a little bit like in the Muppet movie with the scene with Rolf and Kermit. It's just Jim talking to Jim.
Yep.
Right.
Is the world oldest Fraggle wearing a diaper?
I think so. I think that's something that they scrap in later episodes.
Because I don't remember that.
No, he gets a nice little druid jacket thing.
Yeah.
That covers his depends.
But I think that the diaper was supposed to go with his convalescence, so, he's got some incontinence issues.
Yeah.
He also gets a different staff later on that looks a little less like a cat toy.
That is the right word for it. Do you think his normal coloring is gray? Because, like, all of the other Fraggles, pink, green, orange. Or do you think he's gray because he's old? Do you think they're all going to turn gray?
Like if he faded over time?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Possibly.
Without spoilers, there is something in the new series with World's Oldest Fraggle.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're
Gray,
right.
I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
during all of that.
But, they're his memories, and how accurate.
True, and memories.
We know he is not a reliable narrator.
Nope.
That is a good point. So yeah, maybe when they age, Fraggle's just naturally gray, like our hair does.
Aww.
I mean, they're furry. That could just be like a bunch of microfibers fur, and his fur goes gray.
Mm?
So he says that only 5 Fraggles can play this game, which, again, they just get to sort of, as a society, microdose tyranny. Somebody, whoever the light picks, gets to be the supreme ruler, and they get to make 3 commands for the betterment of all, which they say that phrase a lot, and I've got some thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I fully was like, oh, only 5 Fraggles get to go. Gee, I wonder which 5 it's gonna be. And then it was only 3 of the main cast and 1 random dude, and I was like, well, all right, I'll eat my words. That's on me.
Yeah.
Well played, show. Well played.
I had that exact same reaction where I was like, oh, 5 is like the perfect number. And then immediately like, boobers, I'm out, and leaves. Same with Wembley. Yeah. And then we meet Marlin, who, does Marlin come back? I don't remember Marlin.
Yes, he does.
Wild. He's wearing a cummerbund.
And introduced as the guy who keeps trying to start a cult that no one wants to join.
Yeah, also like a lot of jewelry and is very creepy.
Yeah.
Well, he is based off of an actor from, Peter Lorre, I think. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Looking this up.
He acted with Humphrey Bogart a lot, and he just had that sort of bug-eyed look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. So that makes sense with that in mind. But compared to all the other Fraggles that we've met and this world that we've built in the Fraggle caves, he feels very out of place in this episode.
He really he's the first kind of malicious Fraggle we've seen.
Right, and I was kind of wondering what sort of point the writers might have been trying to make with Marlin, since they introduced him for this specific episode. So, what in world politics might he be representing?
Oh man, creepy people who are actively seeking out power so they can modify other people's behavior?
Yeah.
That doesn't ring a bell.
I was gonna say, he says that his want for his wishes is behavioral modification, and I was like, that's a lot for a kid's show.
Without specifying.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But he whispers it, so it's extra malicious.
Well, she's like, can you spell that? And he goes, no, it's too secret. Okay, dang,
That
dude.
was a scary good impression.
Oh, thank you. It's the autism. So, yeah, they just sort of casually say, there's also a really good moment where, Gobo's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. And they're like, Red, are you gonna go? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. This guy can't even balance 2 pickles on his nose. And it just feels really sweet to see riffing that doesn't have mean-spiritedness in it.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing that we've been it was present at the beginning of the series and has been slowly sort of working its way out as these characters sort of learn and grow. And since the last episode had a really sweet sort of moment with Gobo and Red, seeing that carry through in their friendship was really sweet.
Is that a good motivation for wanting to rule? Just so that guy doesn't rule? Is that why people get into politics?
I mean,
if the other guy can't balance a pickle on his nose, then obviously he's not worthy of being the
that's
supreme
true.
ruler.
That was my favorite debate, where Biden and Trump had to just balance a pickle on their nose to see who could do it for the longest.
Man.
I wish they'd had the audience in there for that one, though. That was after they took the audience out. I think it would have been better with an audience.
Red's only want is that everyone wears their hair like her, which, as far as ruling goes, that's nothing. That I would be fine with that if that's the most compared to what is his name? I've already forgotten. Marlin. That's fine by me.
Well, so if we're getting into what each of them wants to do, I've got some notes on this. It is interesting because it comes back to this phrase, the betterment of all.
Mm-hmm.
They reuse this phrase, so it's very clearly an understood idiom within this culture. And I think it's so fascinating. And my take on this is that the theme of this episode is that the betterment of all is something that everyone understands on a general level, but everyone has a different take on how to actually get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's fascinating. I think we get to see Gobo, who's like, no, we need to make a statue for my Uncle Traveling Matt. He's like, we need to honor the people who aren't here so that we can visually be reminded of them and as a society show that we're caring about them. And Red's just like, oh, wear your hair like me. There's imitation and conformity. Everyone needs to be like me. My way's the best, which is very Red. And then Marlin is Marlin. I think it's fascinating also that you had Wembley, who was like, I don't want that power. I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And Moki, who's like, I don't want that power, but I'm going to come along because I want to see what happens.
Yes.
But she's got the bystander mentality, but can you be a bystander when it comes to your own destiny?
But yeah, also just wanted to note, there's that really long reverb tail when they're in the cave. Sound design on point.
I have noted several times where the echoes, the drip drops, the bubbling, it all really creates an atmosphere, at least until after the Finger of Light. Then it gets a little weird.
Yeah. Other quick moment before we get to the big echo scene. The oldest Fraggle in the world is like chanting, and his pallbearers are chanting back. And then they get there, and he's like, all right, put me down. And they sing it back, and he goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. And they, like an old school, like barbershop quartet, go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he's like, no, stop it. Stop the hype. Don't overdo the hype. And I just thought that was very funny.
So good.
He calls them flunkies, which I did look up, and it's a manservant or a footman, which I was just like, thought he was being, demeaning to them, but he was being accurate.
Yeah. Synonym for lackey.
Oh, it never occurred to me where the origin of that word is from. I'm going to look it up on etymology. All right.
Yeah.
This has been your linguistics lesson.
Anyways, I've been talking a lot. Other people should talk about the echo hole.
There's just a lot of great shots of them, like, looking down in the hole, and then also, like, the tiny versions of them crossing the bridge over. There's just, like, a lot of seamless cutting between these different puppetry techniques, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, and they toss a rock down the hole, bounces, and, like, what does the echo hole represent in terms of their journey to become the ruler of the rock? Like, are they on a quest? Is this a King Arthur sort of situation where they gotta, fight dragons and face death?
My take on it was self-reflection. You literally have to hear your own voice back at you.
That's a good point. Yeah, in order, like, to go and figure out who's going to rule, you have to, I don't know, be self-aware, I suppose.
So I really liked Gobo's suggestion that they all hold hands to cross the bridge, and that's how they make it across safely. Like, they're competing, but the way that they get to the next stage of this competition is to work together.
I liked that too, but also, when they're done, Red and Gobo just kind of run back over the bridge and are sliding down it, and in my mind, I was just like, hey, I thought that y'all had to be careful crossing this bridge.
The reason that they do the hold hands thing in Mechanical World is so that the puppets' hands would be busy so they can move their feet, I think.
Well, yeah.
That part makes sense. That's why. But then they made it seem like it was a bigger deal for the story of them, like, slowly doing this thing as a unit. And then afterwards, Gobo and Red are like, let's go back. And they just kind of scamper back across.
Well, it definitely portends the ending where they sort of all come together and sing the nice Moki song. So they, they have to come and live as one in order to cross the echo hole. And...
Yeah, it's a good point.
Do you want the origin of flunk and flunky?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, flunky comes from, it says, Scottish dialect, footman, liveried servant, of uncertain origin, of course, perhaps a diminutive variant of flanker, in reference to servants running alongside coaches. And then when I looked up flunk to see if it has the same origin, it says it comes from American English college slang, traditionally said to be an alteration of British university slang, funk, to be frightened or shrink from. And I was like, I wonder if, like, shrinking from means, like, you're, like, fading into the background, you're, like, shrinking back, and so you're, like, back behind someone like a servant running alongside the coach would be? I don't know. I may be drawing parallels that don't actually exist, but there you go.
You've given us a lot to think about.
Yes.
Thank you.
So next in the episode, they reach the chamber where the Finger of Light is going to shine down upon them and choose which one of them is going to be the ruler for the day. And everybody kind of like spreads out, and Moki's like, I'm just going to stand over here and observe, which immediately I was like, okay, it's going to choose her. But also, my brain just keeps wanting to say Marvin, even though it's not Large Marvin. I know it's not. Anyway.
Like the fish, a marlin.
Marlin.
Yeah, like Nemo's dad.
There's a moment, though, where Marlin shouts, that power, I crave it, I deserve it.
Yes.
Which is a wild thing to announce in front of everybody. But then, yes, the light comes down and chooses Moki, the one who didn't want the power, or at least has claimed that she does not want the power.
Don't you wish all attempted cult leaders were obvious about it? Like, no, I'm trying to start a cult because I crave power.
Be easy to avoid them.
Would make things easier.
Yeah.
Would have saved me a lot of time back in the 60s, I'll tell you that much for free. I love that the light is never explained.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've seen ways that, like, the Fraggles are mythologizing aspects of their, like, ecosystem or aspects of the things in the cave, and then seen, like, oh, that's just a part of, you know, their ecosystem that they don't understand, like the water and Doc fixing the pipes and all that. But this is just light that comes down and shines on a person, and then they get to be in charge. Why? It is. Don't question it.
Well, and you might think that it would get sort of an explanation, because we did get an appearance of the pipe bangers with the pickle hats blowing the Fraggle horn at the beginning. So you're like, oh, we're going to have another thing that comes from outer space that the Fraggles don't understand, but never explained.
That's awesome. I had not clocked that those were the pipe bangers. Thank you.
Well, so it's debatable. They're definitely wearing the same type of hats that the pipe bangers are. They're not carrying pipe banger sticks or doing their pipe banger duties, but the
one who blew the horn was carrying a stick.
Oh, was he? Oh, I didn't clock that.
Yeah. You were probably looking at the Fraggle that was, like, going crazy because, you know...
I was looking at the cross-eyed one, yeah.
So either they are the pipe bangers or they robbed the pipe bangers.
Or the costume prop department just reused those outfits.
Fair.
Either or.
Yeah, people can have a job and also a hobby.
Yeah, those pipe bangers have a life. You know, this is what they do when they're not banging on pipes.
Well, they only have to work 30 minutes.
So 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Same hat.
Which will also come into play later when everyone's shouting what they want from Moki.
Mm-hmm. I caught that too.
So, okay, is there any sort of political meaning in this exchange? The world's oldest Fraggle says, congratulations, and Moki's like, but I wasn't playing the game. And he says, and you played it beautifully.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be commentary on how, you know, you want to opt out of things like societal norms and pressures, and yet it's almost impossible to do so, and you're kind of just stuck in the game of capitalism and everything else going on in, I don't know, the state of the world. You're just kind of stuck in this mad game.
Yeah.
Maybe?
You can try not to play it, but you're definitely going to be affected by it one way or the other.
Like, you could say you don't care about what your credit score is, but ultimately, it affects you if you want to, like, get a car or something, you know? I don't know if it's supposed to be that deep necessarily or that, like, on that theme, but...
I mean, my read on it was very much the idea that people are more likely to give power to people who don't seem like they want it. And so one of the things that people will do to try to get power is to seem like, oh, well, I'm not like them.
Oh.
And so it sounds like maybe that's what he thought Moki was doing, is she was like, I wasn't playing the game. And he's like, I see what you were doing. Well played.
Interesting. Because, yeah, you definitely hear about how, you know, oh, the only person who should be in power is the kind of person who doesn't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right, it never occurred to me before that some politicians deliberately use that as a tactic to seem like, oh, I'm an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just like a cool guy that you could get a beer with, you know, I'm not like all those other politicians.
So everyone that came to the Echo Hole with them is now, okay, Moki's the ruler, I'm gonna immediately turn around and try and convince her to use my ideas. They're all yelling at once, and Moki yells, will everyone just be quiet? And apparently that's her first command, and whether or not she meant it as a command, it worked. And so then, yeah, Red and Gobo are just kind of singing this very short little song called Yucky.
It's my favorite song of the episode.
Okay, say more.
Yeah.
Oh, There's a lot of big songs about big feelings, and sometimes I like little songs about little feelings. And the feeling of just like, man, everything sucks. And you think it's going to get better, and then it doesn't.
And it's not my fault. Someone else did this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's very catchy, but it's also like it's been very atmospheric up until this point. And then all of a sudden, there's this funny little song that Red and Gobo sing apropos of almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel a little out of place, but also like that feels very in keeping with Fraggle culture. Like, well, I'm having this feeling, I'm going to sing about it. Where's that guy with the flute?
Yeah.
I do have a thing about Moki accidentally giving her first 2 commands away, which, spoilers for what we're going to talk about in like 2 minutes. Boober is standing on her tail, and she's like, hey, would you not stand on my tail, please? It feels, if I'm giving them credit for doing it intentionally, like they're trying to say, like, yeah, if you have power, it's very easy to use it without meaning to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would bet that was intentional.
Which is very true, and something that people with privilege ought to work to unpack. I say as someone with privilege who is working to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I had not made that connection.
And it's very subtle, even for Fraggles, which are always subtle, but always subtle when it matters.
Right.
Yeah, they're very good at show not tell. I keep comparing the show to Adventure Time, and I do that for a reason, because they're very good at, like, here's the stuff, and it's got the wacky characters, and if you're paying attention, oh, there's a trove of information and lessons here.
Also, after Moki gives away her second command, the world-oldest Fraggle tells her that ruling is rarely fun, young lady. Wake up and smell the coffee. Which
Yep.
I just was delightful. And begs the question, do Fraggles have coffee?
I asked that same question.
Maybe they're the ones bringing home the coffee grounds for Marjorie.
Oh.
It's not Junior Gorg.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So in that scene with everybody in it, everyone shouting, holding picket signs, wanting Moki to grant their own wishes. Did any of you clock what they were asking for? Like, someone was asking for a 26-minute work week.
Oh, I just heard 6-minute work week.
Oh, was it? I thought it might be 6, because they have a sign and it has like a red area that's marked off, and I wasn't sure if that was 4, -4 from 30, or if it might just be 6 minutes. And then there's one that has Gorg, a picture of a Gorg, and it has an equal sign to Fraggle. And so, like, they're already calling for Gorg and Fraggle equality in episode 12, guys. What?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Did they think they were not getting renewed for season 2? Because, like, they were pushing these lessons hard and fast. And I think someone's shouting, "Cumberbuns for everybody?"
Finally, a platform I can get behind.
Who could that possibly be?
And since Julia mentioned that Marlon is wearing a cummerbund, I was like, maybe they think he's a stylish dresser.
He's already got his cult starting.
He's like, yes, join the cult and follow my behavioral modifications. They're like, no, we're here for the fashion. You can keep talking, but no, we're here for the drip.
He's got a cummerbund and jewelry. He is, like, trying to start a new look for the Fraggles, it would appear.
But yes, if you want to see close-up screenshots of all these various signs, you should go read Katie Lynn's Tough Pigs review of this very episode.
I was very prepared for this.
Sweet, yeah, you did the review for it.
Awesome. Yeah. So we cut back to Doc and Sprocket. And the entire neighborhood has signed a petition to get Doc to stop playing this music very loudly. And Mr. Schimmelfinny sounds like a zombie. He doesn't say where he opens the door, hands Sprocket the petition, and goes, "Oh."
Which makes me think that Sprocket's impression of him is more accurate than I originally thought.
I didn't remember him ever showing up, like, I know we never see him, but I didn't remember him ever showing up at the door. I thought that he was either an entity that was spoken of or would occasionally be on the phone.
Right.
And so that was a nice little surprise when he hands Doc the incredibly long petition.
Yes, we see his hand.
I wondered who played his hand. I don't know if we have that information, though.
It's not in the episode notes on Muppet Wiki.
No.
We do know that Sprocket was about to sign the petition, which implies that Sprocket is literate.
That would not surprise me.
Yeah, he understands English. We've seen him roller skate. Like, he's done so many different things at this point. The fact that he could sign his own name, or even just, like, mark an X, even, would be not surprising.
Yep.
I just love Doc's line, "Oh, a petition, isn't that lovely?" No one has ever said that.
I mean, if I'm signing it, not if I'm named in it.
I mean, if you're signing a petition, usually my attitude is more like, "Oh, you're right, that is a bad thing. I'll happily, sign it to try and put a stop to the bad thing, or try and start the good thing." But I usually don't say, "Oh, a petition, isn't that lovely?"
Well, you're not an autocrat who claims to be all powerful, and then there's just like, oh, look at these little, these little people trying to force me, the one who's improving on nature.
Yep.
How adorable.
Aw, you've unionized. So cute.
Clearly, Doc knows better. He knows better than all the neighbors. I'm doing this for the betterment of all. He doesn't use that phrase, but...
No, he's improving upon nature.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He said that in the very opening scene, and I like to play this little game with myself of how soon in the episode can I spot the lesson? And as soon as Doc said that he was going to improve on nature, I was like, there it is. You can't.
I mean...
we can debate that.
Wheels are pretty great. Wheels are pretty cool. Let's be real here.
I am a fan of wheels.
Mm-hmm. I think they're really cool. Good joke, Adam. Thanks, Adam. So, can we go to the next one with the red as the precursor to the traveling mat letter?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to talk about the setup for this. You've got Red standing up looking out a window and Gobo sitting with his feet up. They're doing so much to just sort of casually fill in the space and make it feel like these are fully three-dimensional creatures and not just puppets that occasionally have, like, appendages affixed to them for the sake of an illusion. And it's a very subtle detail. They did this earlier with Red peering over the edge where they have, like, the practical effect ledge and then Red's feet come out and then she tilts her head over.
Yeah.
And just no seams in the world building. They're so good at this.
So yeah, then we get Traveling Matt's postcard in which he meets the string creatures, which are apparently marionettes. We get this great line. "It's curious, but right away I was drawn to them. It was almost as if I saw a family resemblance."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just very meta. A puppet meeting a puppet. Just different styles of puppets.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chris Angel Mind Freak wishes he could.
And then
I wrote down that, we get these great moments of Traveling Matt and the marionette kind of mirroring each other, and it reminded me very much of that scene in I Love Lucy with Harpo Marx, where she's dressed as Harpo Marx and they're doing the mirror gag.
I have not seen this, and I'm gonna just
make a little note for yourself.
pull that up on YouTube to watch later.
But yeah, then the puppeteer just ties some strings onto Matt and turns him into, he's a puppet, turns him into a different puppet. And I was also just like, that's like a wild thing to do to someone you meet on the street.
Gotta watch out for marionettist.
Apparently.
They'll get you.
Well, and so it does look like as if the marionette is controlling the hands, but then Dave would still be controlling the body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So he has another great line, when the puppeteer is tying the string to him, Matt says, "It's not entirely clear to me why these creatures choose to spend their lives attached to each other with string. There surely must be some mutual benefit. Their leader was such a charismatic person that I inadvertently fell under his spell."
Yeah.
Ooh, that is on theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like it's tying in with, like, ruler for the day, having all of the power. But also there was, like, some questioning of, like, especially the previous scene where everyone is really, like, getting to Moki and trying to get her to use her power in specific ways. If it's also supposed to maybe be tied into that. I don't know. There was multiple interpretations for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I like when the Traveling Matt segments aren't a one-to-one parallel.
Mm-hmm.
If it forces you to kind of look at the issue, not just from another angle, but from a totally different, like, thread of thought. Of like, oh, here's this other complicating factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, adding a orthogonal sort of perspective to it is very, very useful.
Ooh, define that word for me.
Perpendicular.
Oh, orthogonal.
It's fun, isn't it?
I like
It's got
it.
good mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Gertrude Stein would love it. Speaking of segues, we come out of the Traveling Matt segment into Red dropping the harshest, most powerful burn of 1983.
Yes.
That was a great one. And she goes, Snore pie with yawn sauce.
So good.
I didn't think anything could top Amethyst from Steven Universe getting asked a question and responding with, "Welcome to Shrug City." But no, snore pie with yawn sauce, top tier.
When is Fraggle Foodie gonna make that one?
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Listeners, send us your ideas. What goes into snore pie with yawn sauce?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the whole point of it is it needs to make you fall asleep, right? So I'm
Or
imagining
bore
it's
you.
got lavender, turkey, and milk.
Ew. I don't know.
Adam, yes.
I was thinking you were going to say, like, you cut into the slice of pie and it just falls out some, like, NyQuil or...
You gotta thicken it. You gotta.
Yeah, thicken with NyQuil.
Make a nice roux.
Oh.
Okay, so hear me out, though. Without the turkey, that actually doesn't sound too bad, because you get the kind of minty, lavendery kind of mix.
Well, yeah, no.
In, like, a cream? That sounds nice.
Lavender and milk sounds fine.
A lavender cream pie would probably be pretty good. It was the turkey being thrown into it with milk and lavender was what really got me.
Well, doesn't turkey have that thing that make you sleepy in it?
It does. It has that.
Tryptophan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Tryptophan.
Hasn't that been debunked, though?
Has it?
Has it?
That's very possible.
I thought I read that somewhere. I don't know.
The amount that it makes you sleepy is not at all. It's like not clockable.
Oh.
Statistics are off.
Those are rookie tryptophan numbers. We gotta get those tryptophan numbers up.
You gotta eat a whole turkey before you really feel it.
I mean, I will feel
Yeah.
sleepy if I eat a whole turkey.
Yeah. No matter what.
Science explains once more. So we cut back to Moki, and she's just casually dropping puns, and I have never related more to Moki. It's like I picked up the yoke of office and wound up with egg on my face, and I was like, oh, that's also what I sound like when I'm stressed.
Aw. You're just quietly telling puns to yourself.
Yep.
Then Moki. Who's gonna?
I didn't want to say anything. I wanted to see how long we could stretch it.
Apparently.
I don't know how to transition.
Well, after this, Moki decides to go see the trash heap. She goes sees Marjorie, and Marjorie's main advice at first is to listen to the little voice inside and follow that voice. Except then, her, Philo, and Gunge start bickering about like sleep versus exercise versus eating well, and then just start talking about food.
I transcribed the whole scene because I loved it so much. It's just such amazing banter.
It's so
that
good.
I genuinely want to know how much of it was scripted and how much of it was just the puppeteers riffing.
I had that thought too. I was just like, is this being improvised? Are they just having a fun time right now? Yeah.
I wrote down several chunks of it. One is, you gotta listen to the little voice inside. Yeah, who you got in there, Marjorie? Did someone dispose of a body in Marjorie? You can tell me I'm not a cop.
Slowly composting inside of her.
It would explain a lot.
Oh boy.
You're not really supposed to compost remains.
They don't know that.
Who were you, the nature police?
I mean, what else are you supposed to do with them?
I'm Mother Nature. You can't improve on me.
you're
But everything
right.
that they list should go in snore pie and yawn sauce. All those
Ooh,
starches.
yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Starch is the spice of life.
But I don't know, cherry cheesecake and double dipped chocolate fudge, like that doesn't sound boring to me. Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
There's also a great bit where they're talking about, well, you gotta have somebody in charge, otherwise there'd be anarchy, chaos. Yeah, I'm ready for that. Me too.
Yes.
Well, they had to show all the different levels of government you could possibly have, and
Absolutely.
Philo and Gunge are nothing if not anarchists. They're
Eco goth anarchists.
they're tearing down the Gorg walls, one bit at a time.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
There it is.
Oh my
Leave
god.
that in.
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. I wouldn't cut that if you paid me. So what I love about Moki in this moment is that she goes to the trash heap and she's, journaling about this because she's getting really stressed about it, because even though she never asked for this power, she feels that it's really important and she wants to do it right.
Mm-hmm. It feels like character growth for Moki. It feels like early season Moki would be like, oh, I know what to do. Just do this thing that I want you to do.
Yep.
And now she's like, well, hold on. This is a complicated thing. I actually have to do this. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And I think that probably at least partially comes from everyone yelling different things at her at once, that she, immediately feels like, oh, all of these people want different things, so how can I pick one? Now, because I've wasted my 2 other commands, how do I pick one command for the betterment of all?
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's the only one putting a ton of thought into it.
It seems like it.
So then she sings a song.
She does.
This is called Time to Live as One.
It didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I got a hot take. The songs in this one, didn't do a ton for me in comparison to so many of the other songs we've heard, even up to this episode. They were fine. They're not bad songs, but,
yeah.
I have no notes on any of them.
I mean, my 2 favorite songs were Yucky and the no lyrics Palanquin Bearers theme, because that one slapped.
Well, you're not a cabbage or a petunia. Otherwise, the saxophone in the other one would have been, right up your alley.
Dang it, they're on to me. Abort mission! No. I will say there's one really sweet little detail in this song that, blew my mind in terms of randomification. Wembley's just holding a doozer, and then the doozer sings along.
Starts singing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, because at first I was just like, did the doozer consent to this? But then it's singing, and so I was like, oh, I guess it's chill, but also we've never, really, I don't know, we've seen the doozers, but up until now, they've been very separate, and this feels like the most coming together of the Fraggles and doozers that we've gotten to see.
We've also never seen them engage in art.
The doozers?
Yeah,
they're always working, so, I mean, have we seen them sing while they work? We haven't yet, have we?
I don't think we have yet.
Mm-hmm. Not outside of the theme song.
Okay, small spoiler that's going to be coming. But that is true that we have only seen them really work up until this point. And so it feels different, but at the same time, it's such a small thing that there's no attention paid to it, and it's not what the episode is on. So it was an interesting choice that they made for this one.
So when Moki is giving her final command, in the background, you can see a doozer twirling down a doozer construction.
What?
Yeah. I
What?
was... This is something that I hadn't noticed before, but it's spinning around down. So obviously they just sort of set it up and let it go to do that, and then it does it again after her commandment too, and I'm just like, that doozer is not... There is no construction-based reason that a doozer would need to do that.
Wow.
So apparently they were just, they felt joy and enlivened by the whole thing.
Guess so.
Oh, I love that.
That's beautiful.
So you have to go look for it.
That's pretty great.
I will. And then it comes time for Moki to actually give this last command, because she sang a song, and they're like, well, give the command then. I fully expected, because she was like, change the game. I thought she was going to be like, cool, my final command is no one can play this game again.
Right.
Ooh, yeah. But instead, it's just that everyone has to watch Wembley balance Pickle on his nose, because he couldn't do it earlier.
Yeah.
And in the moment, he gets it.
Well, he said he did it a little bit, but nobody saw, and she went, oh, Wembley, I saw.
Oh, that's right. That did happen earlier.
And now she's using her power to be like, hey, everybody, look at my friend. And I think that's cool.
Show that she believes in her friend.
So yeah, after the song, she's kind of surprised that everyone isn't saying, oh, you're right, it doesn't matter, let's all stop playing this. They're like, okay, that was a nice song, now give us our last command. And there's this great exchange with the world's oldest Fraggle. She was like, but I just explained, you don't need... And he's like, well, of course you're right. The Fraggles don't need a command, but they want one. It's for the game. And then she realizes, oh, right, it's supposed to be a game. They're doing this for fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one stressing about this. Which,
oh, yeah.
Oh my god, how many times has that been me, where I'm the only one stressing about the thing, and someone has to remind me, hey, you don't have to. You could just not...
You're allowed to vibe.
Yeah, that's a good point. That there are people out there being me, where
Me.
where things often feel so heavy and blown up. Where for everyone else it is so lighthearted, and it is just such a nothing thing. Ultimately, they're just doing it for a good time. Sometimes you get bogged down with the weight of the pressure to perform and show up, and it just sometimes gets to you. So I guess it got to Moki.
Yeah. And when she does, give her command that, I command Wembley to entertain us all by balancing a pickle on his nose, and the world's oldest Fraggle is like, oh, that was a terrific command, I gotta hand it to the little lady. She knows how to wield power. I was like,
Yeah.
excellent. But yeah, then suddenly they're just all balancing pickles on their noses, as if they all just have pickles stuffed in their pockets at all times.
Who doesn't?
You don't?
Or maybe just there are jars of pickles within arm's reach everywhere throughout Fraggle Rock, just in case you need to balance a pickle on your nose at any given moment.
Do you not have jars of pickles in arm's reach at all times?
I really should.
God, what a weirdo. You're letting us down, Beth.
No kidding.
It's okay, we still love you.
I mean, I say I want to, turn my house into Fraggle Rock, but I need to live that truth and buy more pickles.
Yeah, balance them on your nose.
Alrighty. I really appreciated, I thought this was an interesting episode. One of the things that I really appreciate that kids media will do is instead of having a here is the lesson, they'll be like, this is complicated, and here's a bunch of different takes on it.
Yep, I really love when that happens.
We do at this episode cut back to Doc one final time, and he does very plainly say that he won't force his wishes on his neighbors. And that felt like the most cut and dry, this was the point of what Doc was doing, was he was kind of forcing his wants on everybody, and he's learned not to. And then doesn't he end the episode on saying that you can't improve on nature, immediately also turning that back around as well. But it's also just a nice shot of Doc and Sprocket on the front porch and pulls back and you see all of the plants and everything.
Yeah. And they're huge.
Yeah, they are huge, so Doc maybe wasn't wrong about playing music for them.
Maybe you can improve on nature. Marlon was right.
Oh no.
Radishes the size of pumpkins.
Marlon 2024. You heard it here first.
No.
Adam has learned the wrong lesson.
I'm pretty sure I've learned the right lesson. I will take no comments. Final takeaways?
Oh, so this is another episode that originally aired with an alternate opening theme song. This time it was with Gobo saying Down at Fraggle Rock instead of Boober. And the version that I watched online was like that one that we heard with Wembley. It's like you see Boober, but you hear Wembley. With this one, I saw Boober, but I heard Gobo. Very disorienting.
Well, I have a theory that, in this first season at least, they were very much modeling a lot of things on The Muppet Show. Because I'm sure you've noticed in these first, up to 12 episodes now, that there are some times when they're, looking to camera and kind of, doing a little hey, audience, look what we're doing, which is a very Muppet Show sort of thing. And then there's also, sometimes, they'll end a song, with a little button at the end, which is very Muppet Show. And so I was thinking that they would do that sort of like how there's a different... in the end credits, they would focus on one particular, band member, depending on who was in the orchestra, who was in the episode rather prominently featured. And so they would have that difference at the end of the episode. And so, that sort of seems to me, in my theory, to be sort of based on a Muppet Show quirk that they were keeping going.
Or even kind of like Gonzo doing something different at the end of the opening theme song every time, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just looked up the director of this episode, Peter Harris, directed more than half of the Muppet Show episodes.
Oh,
wow.
Cool.
That's a heck of a resume.
Dang. So quick note on the international versions. In the French version, this is all coming directly from Muppet Wiki, Doc has invited Madame Poitevin for dinner yet again, so he insists on brushing up on his etiquette for the occasion, studying a book of manners which recommends eating a banana daintily with a fork. Croquette simply gulps his down. Yet again, all the preparations are for naught. With an array of appetizers waiting, including pâté de foie gras, and Doc dressed in his finest, Madame cancels again. A frustrated Doc unwinds by putting his feet on the table and eating cheese and meat cut with his hands, while Croquette carefully uses the knife and fork.
Aww.
Meanwhile, at the Eiffel Tower, Uncle Matt notices many mothers and nurses wheeling infants in carriages. Suddenly he is abducted by a young girl and dropped into her own carriage, clad in a bonnet, and briefly forced to endure a pacifier.
The French version is wild.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
And every other aspect of the Fraggle portions is the same, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, dubbed over into French, but yes.
Wow.
And in the German version, the scenes with Doc and Sprocket use the same storyline, and Doc plays the same records for his plants, although the LP sleeves that Sprocket holds up are different. When Doc catches Sprocket trying to add his signature to the neighbor's petition, he says, "You too, Brutus?"
That's good.
Uncle Matt's postcard is new footage shot in the Alps. Matt is intrigued by silly creatures wearing plaster casts on their arms and legs at a ski resort. He discovers that they received their casts after they went skiing and decides to try it out. Matt ends up with his leg in a plaster cast too. This postcard will be used in the Canadian version of episode 205. Okay, there we
I
go.
was to say, that does sound familiar.
Fascinating.
So I have a question for you three. Since Boober says that hearing your own voice in the echo hole, do you know what that can do to your brain? So you all have had to listen to your voices for several episodes now. How are your brains feeling?
Hold on, let me check. Yeah, still pretty viscous.
Yeah, it is.
How about you, Julia?
It is. It's been weird. Like, I don't know. Often when I'm on Tough Pigs podcast, quite honestly, because usually if I'm on one, it's one off and then it goes away. I don't listen to it. And I was on the very first Tough Pigs podcast, Frog Kissin',
Yeah.
we did it 10 years ago. And fun fact, I didn't listen to a single one of those episodes. But I have been making myself listen to these episodes as they come out. And I have been finding joy, and also because we have recorded over, maybe the listeners would be surprised, a long period of time, it is also nice to get little reminders of things that we talked about. So I have been enjoying it more than I anticipated, despite not loving the sound of my voice.
That's awesome.
Beth?
Yeah, I took up the editing duties, and so I knew I was going to have to, at the very least, get used to the sound of my voice.
Yeah, you hear us talk a lot.
I do,
Yeah.
and it's very fascinating to be able to see a visual representation of those different sounds. And a very magical thing has happened in that I can now recognize the shape of my own laughter.
Wow.
Aww.
That's very poetic, Beth.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And I have so many different laughs that I've been collecting them, and I would love to someday get a tattoo of the shape of all my different laughs.
That's amazing.
That's so sweet. I love that. Oh.
Right? So apparently that's what the echo hole did to my brain.
How about you, Katie? How has listening to your own voice changed how your brain works?
I haven't listened to it yet. When this episode comes out, I'll send you a piece of my brain when it falls out.
Cool. I'm collecting cerebral cortex and amygdala.
Have you not been on podcast yet?
This is my first.
Oh.
Congrats! Well, we're so glad you were here for us today.
Yeah.
Here with us today. That's how sentences work.
I can never be on Hubba. I don't know enough to. That just seems like, and it's a pressure situation.
Yeah.
It's not that you don't know enough, it's that your knowledge is more general.
Just be like me and just go on knowing that you're going to lose because your brain does not retain information like a lot of other people.
Which was your episode, Julia?
I've been on 2. I was on one with, I believe her name is Maria in season 1. And we did kind of newer Muppet productions. And then I was on the Muppets Most Wanted one, the second season. And that one I actually did pretty well. I got lost because one of the segments was on the article that I think Joe wrote, where it was, I think, Matt and Steve doing live commentary while watching Muppets Most Wanted, and they transcribed a ton of it, and I didn't think to go back and revisit it, and so for that one I think I got 1, maybe 2 questions, and it put me really far back. But I did really great on trying to remember everything that Constantine can give you.
Yes.
I nailed that one.
Shall we talk about how to make the world a little fragglier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have one, Adam?
Always make sure that there's a jar of pickles within arm reach of you, wherever you are, wherever you go. Jar of pickles, arm's reach. Do it.
Dang it, you took mine.
I was going to say to have my presence announced by the Fraggle horn, and then be born in upon a palanquin.
Absolutely.
Maybe don't trust people wearing cummerbunds and a bunch of jewelry out in public whispering about behavioral modification. Maybe keep your distance there and go be amongst other folks.
When you're stressing out about something, remember that it might in fact be a game.
Ooh.
And you can just let yourself play.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Oof. I gotta lock that one away to remind myself.
That's a heavy lesson.
Yeah.
We've always gotta have one.
But also a very freeing one.
All right, that is it for this episode of Fraggle Talk. Reminder to give us a good rate and review on your podcaster of choice. If you want to find us on social media, I am at Beth Anna Cook. Julia?
Oh, yes. You can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up on Instagram, not really Twitter these days. You can also find me at juliagaskell.com if you are interested in poetry, and I occasionally write for Tough Pigs.
I'm on Spotify as Badger Blossom. I have one lo-fi EP out, and if you're into sort of archaic lo-fi stuff, by all means check it out. Beyond that, I don't exist. Don't perceive me.
And Katie Lynn?
Most of my work you can currently find at toughpigs.com, including my review of this very episode. I'm on Twitter at KTLynAuthor. That's the letters K, T, and then LYN, author. But mostly I just retweet Tough Pig stuff because it's the best stuff out there.
True story. All right. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next time down at Fraggle Talk.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk.
Bow.
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 Bow. Chicka wow.
Meow.
I'm so tired, y'all.
Yep.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
Nope, that's not the right window.
Please, let me out, Beth. Tink, tink, tink. Let me out of this computer trap. It's not the right window, though.
It isn't. Oh, boy. I can handle this, I swear. There we go.